Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is not waiting for you to wake up. It is not waiting for you to wake up. Bitcoin is moving. Bitcoin is being adopted all over the world. Companies, institutions are buying all the time. Whales are not selling. I don't know what people are waiting for. I don't know if they're waiting for a complete decay of the dollar or a complete financial catastrophe in order to wake them up. But regardless, whatever is causing people to not act on creating a security blanket for themselves to protect their purchasing power from the deteriorating financial system, Bitcoin is not waiting for you. Bitcoin is hitting new all-time highs every day, which is why the only situation that can exist for the Bitcoin believer is to buy the tops forever. All right. As you guys can see, here is an article from Cointelegraph. And this article says Bitcoin shows no signs of fatigue as it overtakes gold's gains for 2025. Now, make sure that you do not mix this title, this headline up with overtaking gold's market cap. Bitcoin overtook the gains that gold made this year. It has not yet overtaken the market cap. If I'm not mistaken, gold has close to a $22 trillion market cap, but it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high above $122,000 on Monday, up 29% in 2025, overtaking gold's 27% gains year to date. And let's not get it twisted. Gold has been doing extremely well this year. Gold has been doing extremely well this year, but Bitcoin is just the superior asset. It is just superior in every way. Bitcoin's new highs above 122,000 translate to 29% year-to-date gains, overtaking gold's 27%. Bitcoin's price uptrend remains resilient as an ascending parallel channel targets 125,000 next, which, no. As long as there's not any weird, unexpected macroeconomic turbulence, as long as we just don't get a surprise, massive announcement of sweeping tariffs all over the place, I could see this happening very easy. And one of the reasons why I could see this happening very easy is because currently, even at $122,000, which Bitcoin is not at $122,000 today, 7/17/2025, even at $122,000, Bitcoin is undervalued. The only appropriate valuation for Bitcoin is an upper limit or the infinity symbol. The only way to create the proper valuation for Bitcoin is by using equations or calculus suggesting of an infinite parabolic rally forever. That's the only way that you can mathematically express Bitcoin's top. Bitcoin's top is equivalent to the end of the universe. The universe, allegedly, according to physics, is in a constant state of expansion. The financial markets are also in a constant state of expansion, artificially expanding. Any expansion in the financial market creates more contents to store inside of Bitcoin as a container / store of value. Okay. Bitcoin has staged a relentless rally over the last 5 days, hitting an all-time high above $122,000 on Monday. Bitcoin is now up around 29% year to date, putting it slightly ahead of gold in gains, which has gained about 27% in 2025. How many people invest in gold? I invest in gold. I think that people should pay attention to the fact that Bitcoin and gold are top performing assets, and it's showing that people now see assets tied to the financial system as a risk, more so than they have in the past. So any asset that people can get that is as decoupled as possible from the financial system, in my opinion, will do very well in the coming years. Okay. Bitcoin and gold are now the top performing major assets so far in 2025. Chief market strategist at Creative Planning, Charlie Billio, says in a post on X on Sunday, adding, "We've never seen these two in the number 1 and number 2 spots for any calendar year." And again, global, if you ask me, global trust in the world leading US financial system is at an all-time low. And assets that are least coupled with the United States financial system are going to do very well. They're going to do very well. Okay. Bitcoin hits a 23-week high against gold. Bitcoin price against gold hit a 23-week high last seen on January 31st, extending the monthly gains against its analog store of value rival. And I like how they called gold the analog store of value rival. That's the perfect description. Bitcoin price in gold rose to 36.54 ounces on Monday, up 25% since June 22nd, as geopolitical and economic uncertainties push unproductive assets higher. Okay. Gold and Bitcoin are called unproductive assets because they do not generate income, dividends, or interest like stocks, bonds, or real estate, relying instead on price appreciation for returns. Okay. The Bitcoin gold ratio peaked at 41 in December of 2025 and is currently about 12% below that level. Since Thursday, Bitcoin made a new all-time high in US dollar terms each day, said market intelligence firm Glassnode in a Monday post on X, highlighting the fresh all-time highs hit earlier in the day. Bitcoin is still shy of all-time high in CHF and gold terms, the firm wrote, adding, Bitcoin versus gold. It's now at the highest level since early February after outperforming consistently since June 22nd. Okay. Bitcoin investor and research analyst Tur Deminster told his followers to expect fireworks once Bitcoin decisively breaks above the price of 1 kilogram of gold, which was around $108,000 at the time of writing. So we're above that now. Okay. Bitcoin's relentless rally shows no signs of fatigue, surging past 122,000 as momentum accelerates, said crypto trading firm QCP Capital on Bitcoin's new all-time highs. In a Monday Telegram note to investors, the company added that Bitcoin price outperformance stems from robust institutional appetite, aka institutional FOMO, evidenced by last 2 weeks, 2 billion plus of net inflows into spot Bitcoin ETFs, a clear signal of growing participation. Now, in addition to these ETFs that Bitcoin has had a lot of liquidity flowing into, Ethereum ETFs are doing great as well. Lots of liquidity is flowing into the cryptocurrency space. Shout out to the people that hold crypto. Shout out to the people that hold Bitcoin. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year. The market appears to have underestimated the strength of this parabolic move, driven by a decisive technical breakout and a sharp pickup in institutional demand. Make sure that you mark your phones because this is the next target. The next target is $125,000. Okay. Bitcoin's price was trading at $121,600 on Monday, up 3% over the past 24 hours, per data from Cointelegraph, Market Pro, and TradingView. Bitcoin's price action had led to the formation of an ascending parallel channel on the hourly chart. Bitcoin channeling nicely, respecting the median as resistance, and is now pushing for the upper boundary of the ascending parallel channel, Bitcoin analyst Alpha BTC said in his latest analysis on X. The chart shows that if Bitcoin successfully overcomes the resistance from the middle of the boundary, the next logical move would be the upper boundary of the channel at 125,000. Now, why is this important? It's important because every increase in price that Bitcoin has is a difficulty adjustment that you need to make as a human being in order to be able to maintain your Bitcoin purchases at the same level. Which means that if the price of Bitcoin is increasing, if you have a target goal of purchasing 0.01 Bitcoin every paycheck or 0.01 Bitcoin every month, that 0.01 Bitcoin is going to be more expensive, i.e. more difficult to secure with the price escalating upwards. Okay, so you have to do a human difficulty adjustment to be able to continue purchasing Bitcoin at the current Bitcoin rate. Because again, if you ask me, it's not ever wise to say, I'm going to put away $100 in Bitcoin. No, you want to get a fixed amount of Bitcoin and stay on buying that fixed amount of Bitcoin and do what's necessary to raise more dollars to buy Bitcoin, not buy less Bitcoin with the same amount of dollars. Okay. The analyst added that the US CPI reading on Tuesday might propel Bitcoin price towards this target. Okay, so there we go. Bitcoin $125,000 is next. So we got to make sure that we come back to this video and mark the date when we hit 125,000. Okay. Bitcoin has just devoured Amazon. Bitcoin has just devoured Amazon and has overtaken Amazon's $2.3 trillion market cap, which is quite an accomplishment. Quite an accomplishment. Bitcoin is amazing. Bitcoin overtakes Amazon's $2.3 trillion market cap. We already know what's propelling its massive run. What's propelling Bitcoin's massive run? You guys let me know in the comment section. Bitcoin continues its historic price rally, soaring past $120,000 earlier today and surpassing e-commerce giant Amazon's $2.38 trillion market capitalization. The flagship cryptocurrency now ranks just behind gold, Nvidia, Microsoft, and Apple in terms of market cap. Bitcoin flips Amazon, and they're asking the question, what's behind the run? We all know what's behind the run. One of the first things that's behind the run is the fact that Bitcoin is the superior asset. That's one of the things that's behind the run. According to a recent X post by crypto analyst Crypto Rover, Bitcoin has officially overtaken Amazon in total market capitalization. The analyst shared the following chart. Showing Bitcoin with a $2.43 trillion market cap at a price of $122,304 compared to Amazon's $2.38 trillion. Okay. Now, as you can see, and shout out to Carlton, because Carlton mentioned this makes Bitcoin the 5th largest asset in the world. And as you guys can see, it's not going to take much for Bitcoin to jump to 2. If Bitcoin doubles, Bitcoin will be more valuable than Nvidia. And then now it's time to come for gold. Okay. Now it is time to come for gold. The chart also indicates that Bitcoin is inching closer to Apple, which currently holds a market cap of 3.15 trillion. Gold remains the top global asset, commanding a massive $22.64 trillion valuation. Now, let me ask you guys this question, and I want you guys to tell me this in the comment section. Of these 6 assets, which is the newest? Which is the one that hasn't been around the longest? So the question is, how long did it take each of these assets to get here? And if it took these assets this long to get here, where is the one that's on here that's the youngest going? I think that's a great question. I think you guys would give me some great answers. Okay. The chart also includes that Bitcoin is inching closer to Apple, which currently holds a market cap of 3.15 trillion. Gold remains a top global asset, commanding a massive $22.64 trillion valuation. Any market cap that's available, right? Non-Bitcoin market cap, aka available market cap, is potential market cap to go into Bitcoin. Once market cap is dissolved into Bitcoin, it becomes digitized and a part of the Bitcoin market cap. Anything that Bitcoin has surpassed. So all existing market cap is just market cap waiting to be encapsulated by the ever expanding Bitcoin market cap value container. Okay. Several factors appear to be driving Bitcoin's explosive rally. Chief among them is the surge in institutional interest, which is nearing all-time high levels. Institutional FOMO and just massive buying is one of the things that's driving the Bitcoin price so high. And again, what we have to understand and what we should pay close attention to is that the Bitcoin price is actually low. It's actually low. It should be much higher than it is. Okay? It should be much higher than it is. In a separate post, crypto analyst Mr. Crypto noted that crypto investment products saw inflows of $3.7 billion last week, marking the second largest weekly inflow ever. The analyst described this as an extremely bullish signal. Okay. Meanwhile, data from Soso Value reveal that the total net assets held in spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds have reached $150 billion, representing over 6.4% of Bitcoin's total market capitalization. Companies continue to increase Bitcoin exposure. As Bitcoin gains traction as a reliable source of value, more corporations are adding Bitcoin to their treasuries. For instance, Michael Saylor's strategy remains the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin and continues to expand its position. Okay. The company announced today that it had acquired an additional 4,225 Bitcoin for $472.5 million at an average price of $827 per Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, who now holds a massive 601,550 Bitcoin valued at $42.87 billion at an average cost of $71,268 per coin. Okay. Similarly, Japanese investment firm Metaplanet, often dubbed Asia Strategy, revealed it had purchased 800 Bitcoin. The company now holds 16,532 Bitcoin and has set an ambitious target to accumulate 210,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2027. In a recent report from institutional research firm Blockware Intelligence, predicts that as many as 36 more companies could add Bitcoin to their balance sheets by the end of 2025. This is likely to further cement Bitcoin as a reliable store of value. This is also going to further push Bitcoin to the ceiling forever. Adding to the bullish outlook, Bitcoin's available supply on crypto exchanges continues to decline amid growing demand. The supply squeeze could further propel prices higher in the near term. At press time, Bitcoin trades at $121,062, up 2% in the past 24 hours. So where is the Bitcoin, the over-the-counter Bitcoin? Now, there must just not be any over-the-counter Bitcoin at all, because now they're directly discussing the scarcity of exchange Bitcoin. There's not a lot of Bitcoin on the exchanges. So if there's not a lot of Bitcoin on the exchanges, where are people going to get their Bitcoin from? That's the question. Bitcoin momentum triggers institutional moves and AI powered trading shifts. Okay. Institutions continue to pour into Bitcoin despite price dips, while ARK Invest rebalances after record highs. Analysts see a $170,000 Bitcoin target. All right. Time to put this value into your phone. Mark your alerts. And AI tools like ChatGPT and Grok are reshaping crypto day trading. Okay. ARK Invest trims Bitcoin exposure after record highs. ARK offloads millions in Coinbase and Bitcoin ETF shares as prices soar. Okay. $13.3 million Coinbase sale. ARK sold over 34,000 Coinbase shares after it hit a record $394 close. $8.7 million Bitcoin ETF sale. ARK also sold 225,000 shares of its own ARK Bitcoin ETF during rebalancing. Okay. Bitcoin could hit $170,000 as Pi cycle tops signals peak. Okay. Market timing indicator flags the next Bitcoin top, and it's getting closer. Pi cycle tightening. Moving average data shows Bitcoin may peak between 130,000 and 170,000 by late 2025. Okay, so we got to pay attention to these prices, right? We got to keep on buying while these prices have not yet hit. Momentum is rising fast. The 111-day average jumped $6,000 in 6 weeks, pushing peak forecasts forward. Institutions are doubling down on Bitcoin at $116,000. Okay. And we know why, because every price that you buy Bitcoin currently is always the lowest price. It's also going to always be the highest price in the future once you own it and hold it. Okay, it's pretty simple. But what's interesting about it is that many people seem to have a difficult time with it. 11,000 Bitcoin in 2 days. Spot Bitcoin ETFs added huge amounts, even as Bitcoin dipped $7,000. Outflows are near zero. No sign of selling panic. ETF flows contrast sharply with earlier retracements. $135,000 target. ETF accumulation could drive Bitcoin to $135,000 in 6 months per on-chain data. Okay. Tools like ChatGPT and Grok revolutionize crypto day trading. Traders are using AI to turn sentiment into structured trades in seconds. Grok spots trends, detects sentiment spikes from social media that often precede price moves. ChatGPT builds plans, translates those signals into entry-exit strategies with technical analysis. Journaling with AI helps to refine strategy and avoid emotional mistakes. And this is one of the things that I've talked about before. Human Fibonacci behavior retracements. AI is the human mind refined without the condition of emotional error. Okay? So if you merge AI with your human skill, you might be able to come up with quite the trade. All right. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you are excited as I am to see what is going to happen in the future. Hopefully you are stocked up. Always be buying. Buy the top forever. Smash the like button. Hit the bell. Share the stream. Leave a comment. And I will catch you on the next video. All right. Peace.